folks, and welcome to Garbage Theater. I'm your host, Chase, with my co-hosts, Blake and John.
Thank God it's fucking over.
Let's get this shit show over with. It is the Season 3 finale special. We made it through another one, boyos.
We did it. For the
rough
greatest.
one.
Season 3 was a whooping.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. God. So we've got a lineup of fun little things that we're going to do. Some things that you've known from previous specials if you've listened to those. A couple of new things. But just let's just have a little general idea of your feelings for this season. Where would you rank it amongst the three that we've done?
Who's going first?
Well, I've only been here for 2, so...
Yeah, John's only been here for 2, but...
Well, then move out the way, sucker, because let me tell y'all something. This was the least enjoyable experience I've had in podcasting. There was nothing good about this season. Anytime there was a glimmer of hope, it was terrible. Like, there was no redeeming fucking qualities of any of the movies that we watched. None. Like, I can look back. I can look back at past seasons and think about movies that I laughed my ass off about, like just with y'all, you know.
Yeah.
And I look back this season and it's anger. Like, Buffalo Rider should have been something.
Yeah, it should have.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
This season had more of, and we've talked about this example before, but there's movies where we'll watch them, and based on how much we enjoyed doing the episode about said movie, it kind of blurs your vision of what the movie was.
Right.
Like, man, that was a really fun episode, but god damn, that movie was shit. There was a lot more of that this season than there have been in the previous 2.
Yeah. I think the only episode that actually had fun was Bloodbeat.
Yeah. I'd say Bloodbeat was probably, well, I mean...
But that was only because it was a girl masturbating and killing people with a samurai.
I mean, I had a lot of fun recording Buffalo Rider.
I don't know. It was fun, but I was angry at the same time.
Yeah. Now, the movie that made me angriest made it onto my top 5, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, I think I have a prediction that our top 5s, our worst of the worst 5, it's going to be very different between all of us, I think.
I agree.
I don't think there's going to be a consensus.
Nah. Well, there doesn't need to be a consensus for worst of the worst, so whatevers. Should we just go ahead and move right on and get to it?
Sure.
Let's do it. The Worst of the Worst, where we run down our top 5 least favorite movies that we've done this season, going from 5 to 1, least worst to most worst. Who wants to go first?
I'll tell you what, Chase, you go first because you're actually ahead in the bonus questions.
That's true.
So let's do it in order like that.
All right, let's do that. All right. So, my number 5 worst of the worst is Buffalo Rider.
Okay.
Because it was what should have been amazing, wasn't, and it was just simply a never-ending bore fest. It was so fucking boring. Just watching this guy walk around with his goddamn buffalo, or just watching the raccoon. And the half an hour of nature documentary in front of it before we even met a human being was more than needed to be. So there's number 5. Number 4, Atlantic Rim. Barely a movie, a prime example when a production company's only goal is to rush anything out, as long as it has a name that will confuse the elderly when buying a movie for their grandkids.
Yeah.
That's how they get all their revenue. Number 3, Atlantic Rim 2. It seems even Asylum sequels aren't immune to the fate that most sequels suffer. Bigger budget, way worse movie.
That's interesting. You thought it was worse?
By far. Yeah. At least, it had... Okay, now bear with me when I say this. It had no soul to it. Not that the first one had a lot of soul to begin with, but 2 had way less.
Yeah. Well, without Graham Greene...
It was just there, and it didn't need to be.
Yeah. Well, I think we sort of talked about it in the episode where, like, I felt like there was a lot of improvements in some areas, and then they moved backwards in other areas.
Yeah, they just, they're making another Pacific Rim. I guess we have to make another Atlantic Rim.
Right.
Yeah. Number 2, Born into Mafia. This is the movie that made me the angriest. Because it was revealed that 80% of the movie didn't happen and didn't matter, guaranteeing it made it onto my list. But number 1, Waste of the Waste for me, The China Salesman, no explanation needed. All right, who's up next? Blake, you're in second place, so
yeah,
let him rip.
Okay, so my first one, it was actually an argument, with myself, whether it would be Atlantic Rim or why can't I remember it now? I just drew a blank. Either way, it's Atlantic Rim. And so what's really blowing my mind is when I made my list, everything on my worst of the worst list is movies that I picked. So
that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. I guess I did my job. But anyway, Atlantic Rim was first because it was just terrible. It was a shitty movie. It wasn't fun. It had all the trappings of a fun movie, but it wasn't. Number 4 would be Glimmer Man.
Interesting.
Wild.
Yeah, Glimmer, because number 1, it cost $3.
It cost real money to watch.
Number 2, it didn't give me as much Seagal material as I wanted. Like, I guess because he wasn't pudgy yet, so it wasn't as fun to make fun of him.
He was working on it, though, with that goddamn bread.
Oh, he was getting there. Number 3 is China Salesman, because Jesus, China Salesman. Lord.
That's way too generous.
Number 2 was Atlantic Rim 2, because how do you go back to how do you go do the same movie over? And I don't, it was weird. It's like they tried to do the same movie over, but they didn't hit the same points, and it fucking sucked. Everybody knows that one. And number 1, only because it broke my fucking heart, is Buffalo Rider. Buffalo Rider was my No Man's Sky. It looked fantastic. It was supposed to be great.
I think No Man's Sky was your No Man's Sky.
This is true too. Well, okay. If No Man's Sky is my No Man's Sky, then Buffalo Rider is my Grab by the Ghoulies.
So obscure.
Yeah.
Everybody, Google Grab by the Ghoulies tonight.
Yeah. It's gonna revolutionize video games. Those are words that came out of my mouth when talking about that game.
Yeah. When you look up the Grab by the Ghoulies trailer, think that Blake thought that this was going to revolutionize gaming.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, Buffalo Rider it broke my heart. It was the Fredo to my Michael. So as is tradition, I took it out in the boat and shot it in the face. That would be my list.
All right, John, bring us home.
All right. Well, I think Blake's prediction is correct. Everyone's list is pretty different. This was a difficult one to like pick the top 5. I had to go and rate the entire season of movies to like somehow to make it make sense. But anyway, these top 5 they're in almost a random order just because of the badness was so equal all over the place.
They're pretty much interchangeable in bad.
Yeah, basically. All right,
it's a 5-way tie for number 1.
All right, now my number 5 is Fungicide.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah.
Which was actually kind of a tough one for me because I enjoyed this movie a lot. for various reasons. But also, like, objectively, I know that it belongs on the list of the worst ones.
Objectively, it probably is the worst one. But, I mean, that was such something about our episode 2s.
Yeah. I think if the guy wouldn't have blown himself up at the end, it would have been my worst of the worst.
If he didn't turn into a goddamn X-Man, yeah.
Right.
So my number 4 is Time Barbarians.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably seems insane to rank this as worse than Fungicide. But it doesn't have like a single scene that I loved as much as the Mushroom John or a payoff as satisfying as Titus Ignitus's. It was just like so forgettable and lame and like no rewatch value at all. I had no reason ever to go back to that movie. So Time Barbarians is number 4. Number 3, Atlantic Rim.
Okay.
It was just insulting and boring and stupid, and I hated all the characters, and it wasn't any fun. Number 2 is Born into Mafia.
Hey!
I still think it's like the most incompetent movie we've ever watched. Every single element of this movie was completely bungled. Even the fucking credits. The end credits were a disaster.
But it gave us the gift that Chase made with The Usual Suspects. So that's what it gave us. So
it gave us a lot of gifts for sure. Yeah.
He has no luggage because he's Russian. Jesus Christ.
And number 1 couldn't be anything other than China Salesman.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I hated this movie with every cell of my body.
You drink piss, China Salesman.
Every second was a chore to sit through.
I didn't even finish the thing.
We skipped like 30% of it when we did the show. It wasn't close, obviously, to being technically as bad as the rest of anything else on this list. It was just like bad on another plane of existence. It was like quantum bad. It's hard to put into words. Even it's like it's almost irrational. It's like as though my arch enemy and I have been reincarnated for like eons, and then they finally just came back as a movie.
Oh man.
So yeah, China Salesman.
Yeah, China Salesman.
What's funny is like with all our list, it's not like you can argue with you can't say, oh, I don't know why you put that there. You know, I mean, everything this season sucked. So anything anybody says, it's like, okay, I can see that. You know?
Yeah. All legitimate points across the board.
Right. Yeah, no argument here.
Exactly. Jesus Christ.
I already forgot. Did anyone put Bloodbeat? Did Bloodbeat make anyone's list?
Bloodbeat wasn't on anyone's top 5.
Okay.
Bloodbeat was towards the top of my good list. If I would have had to make a top 5, it would have been in my top 5. Mm-hmm. Just because I had fun watching that one.
Yeah.
I mean, when the dude dove out the window into the front yard, like that was great. The Red Baron flying through the fucking empty streets of Wyoming. There's so many good things in that movie.
I just kind of figured it would be on somebody's list because of the pure like incomprehensibility of it. But.
No, not.
Nah.
If it would have been in season 2, it would have been way down there. But being that it was in season 3, it's not bad at all.
That was Citizen Kane of this season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you really want to think of the poetic ramifications of a girl masturbating and people dying and a samurai and where did the armor come from? I mean, there's layers to this.
Yeah.
Is the armor physically there?
Yeah. How is Magua olive oil and this bitch related? We don't know.
Last of the Mohicans olive oil was one of the best things ever said this season.
Which in turn made me go watch Last of the Mohicans again.
Yeah.
And it was like, God damn, this is a good movie.
And the fact that we were all in the same wheelhouse with describing her
Exactly.
was amazing. Oh, man. All right. So there's our top 5 Waste of the Waste for all 3 of us.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to our little mini award ceremony.
Yes.
We typically add a new award every season. We had discussed there was only 2 because in our first season we had the Apologies 2 award, which went to a movie that we felt didn't deserve our ridicule and was, a mediocre movie and was okay. And it went to Welcome to the Jungle with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right.
But then last season we had the gift of the Desert Heat Award.
Yes.
Bestowed upon us, where it's a movie that just kicks ass in every way, shape, and form, except for John.
I hate to say it, but maybe that's what season 3 was missing, was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, we didn't watch any Jean-Claude Van Damme. You see?
That could be it.
But, so, in the sake of just having a new award every season, let's bring back the Apologies 2 award. Does anyone want to nominate a movie that they didn't feel was deserving our ridicule this season? No? Great. Moving on. So nobody gets the Apologies 2 award this season. Moving on to the Desert Heat Award. Nominations. Throw them out there.
Warriors of the Wasteland.
Warriors of the Wasteland, for sure.
Second.
Yep.
So congratulations, Warriors of the Wasteland. You're the receiver of the illustrious Desert Heat Award.
Also the receiver of a drill bit up the ass.
Now, I thought I was going to have to defend this, so I wrote some stuff. I wrote a defense.
Okay.
I'd like to. All right.
You may submit it into evidence.
All right. Because I don't want to give the impression that this is given begrudgingly in any way. I fully, wholeheartedly endorse this movie for the Desert Heat Award.
John went a little crazy after we watched this movie, to the point that he started making artwork and posters and shit daily.
I think what happened is John got a touch of the Desert Heat from watching this movie.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Yeah.
That's what me and Blake were feeling last season.
Yeah, all right,
he got a
fair
touch
enough.
of it because all of a sudden the group text was filled with all this fucking fan art and shit.
Yeah, well, because Blake said a few times now that if we had watched this last season, that I wouldn't feel the same way about it, or it would be near the bottom or something.
Right.
I took a stroll down memory lane and looked back at what we watched last season, and I just disagree. This was a bad season of movies for sure. Season 3 was real bad, and I think that's messing with your memory.
Okay.
About last season. Because I personally like this movie more than anything else we watched this season or last.
Yeah.
Last season had Swamp Ape, Ninja Terminator, Derailed,
Desert Heat.
Rogue Strike,
Desert Heat,
Robo War, Deadly Sin.
Oh, I'd take a Robo War twice before I'd take Warriors.
Oh, no way! It didn't have anywhere near the fun that Warriors had.
Oh God, the children!
that was amazing.
But that wasn't the movie. That was Chase. Anyway, that's my full-throated endorsement of Warriors of the Wasteland.
Yeah. No, that's fine, man.
Yeah, I thought originally I wasn't going to vote for it, and I was just going to say nothing is deserving of the Desert Heat Award this season. But looking back on it more, I said, okay, yeah, I can see this being enjoyable on multiple viewings.
It's the clear winner. Whether it holds up against season 2 movies or not doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
For season 3, it was the clear winner.
Yeah, exactly. So we're also, because new season, we need to add a new award. So we're introducing the Buffalo Rider Award. That's being given to, you guessed it, Buffalo Rider.
Right.
And the Buffalo Rider Award is to be given to movies that look like home runs on paper.
Yes.
But then upon viewing, is something completely different. So we'll have that one.
I almost feel like Bloodbeat could also be nominated for that award. I mean, like, how do you fuck with that?
But we weren't like, we were over the moon for Buffalo Rider. Once we heard that song on the trailer,
that's true.
We were all in.
That theme song was.
This movie doesn't belong on this podcast. Yeah, exactly.
Like Buffalo, I rushed to watch Buffalo Rider.
Yeah, we thought this was going to be too good for our podcast.
Yeah.
So, it was not. Bandit notwithstanding.
Poor Bandit.
So there we go. So we'll grow our catalog of awards season by season. So there we go. Moving on. Our next we got a fun little segment that we added in at the last minute because of last episode with Atlantic Rim 2. And this segment's called What the Fuck is a Hadomorph?
Yes.
Where we all give what our acronym for Hadomorph is.
Right.
Because apparently that's what it is to some people. So, Blake,
go ahead,
I'm going to let you go first because this is your whole thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So I figured the acronym would have to, okay, well, let's get it straight. It's Atlantic Rim. Atlantic Rim 2, but, we started our whole Atlantic Rim adventure at quote-unquote Mardi Gras in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So I figured if it was a coon-ass giving the acronym, I figured this is how he would do it.
Okay.
It's a heavy-ass deep ocean monster on rampage, partner. Hear me?
Oh, that was fantastic.
That's good. That's the best one. Calling it. Calling it now.
Anytime you can work the word podna into anything. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Who wants to go next, John?
I'll go, I guess. I only did the acronym for the first 4 letters because morph is like, I thought, I don't know, because I was thinking of like a xenomorph. Like,
yeah,
morph is like a suffix that they put onto shit.
We'll allow it.
Okay.
Yeah.
None of this segment makes sense.
None of this matters. Mine's just a hard ass dick owner.
Morph.
Oh,
Morph. Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. So, mine, I did the whole word. So, my answer to what the fuck is a hadomorph is hastily animated, dumb, oversized monster overpowering robots piloted haphazardly.
Wow.
Damn.
That's pretty good.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely accurate.
Oh, man. You guys killed it. I was up till like 2 a.m. coming up with hard-ass dick owner.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'd say if you're up at 2 a.m. and you come up with hard-ass dick owner, you've been afflicted with the madness.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Moving on down the road. We come to our next segment, our last little creative fun segment, where we're going to China salesman our jobs. Where we're going to take our boring, everyday, not thrilling jobs and weave them into an epic, crazy, action-y, whatever movie to try to sell it as a film that you would want to watch about our stupid jobs. So, any volunteers to go first?
Mine is so shitty and short that I would like to go first. Because if any of y'all have like half a fucking good idea, I can't follow that.
Okay, go for it.
So I didn't even write anything down just because I was like, I can't fucking, just, whatever. So anyway, I'm a safety man by trade. So I figured my movie would be about a safety man going to a country who had no safety programs in place. That would be run by a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
And the dictator has all these crazy rules and makes people wear certain clothes and all that. And so we're trying to integrate safety within what is allowed in the country. So I go meet the dictator, and all I see is the back of a massive chair. And when it spins around, it's Seagal in his Glimmerman shirt. So we have to make safety clothing made out of like frog button shirts and shit. And I eventually have to gain the dictator's trust. And the only way to do that, at the end of the movie, we have all our safety procedures ready to go. And I'm sitting across the desk from him, explaining to him what's going on. And he's going to agree to it, but only if I drink this bottle of piss. And there you go. Safety salesman.
The safety salesman. Oh, Christ. Okay. I'll go next. What the hell?
Okay.
John hasn't gotten to go last yet, so we'll let him have that one. Okay, so I'm a graphic designer. So I came up with this little yarn. A mild-mannered graphic designer, seemingly a victim of corporate restructuring, loses his long-time job due to a parent company takeover. However, there seems to be something darker afoot. Through his knowledge of iconography, supernatural layout compositions, and eldritch brand standards, he uncovers an eternal slumbering evil at the heart of this mega corporation. Together with a ragtag group of marketing historians and big-ass motherfuckers, he sets out on a red-dotted line airplane adventure across the Americas until they settle in the deepest, darkest heart of the Amazon jungle.
Jesus Christ.
Where the secrets to the unstoppable corporation's sinister dark magic lies. Follow him along on this adventure that he really takes no part in or has any reason to be present for, as far more physically qualified heroes take on this timeless evil to save the plane of existence we call home in The Kerning of Cthulhu.
God damn.
Yep. Which is why I wanted to go first.
Good stuff.
I'm not bitter or anything.
No.
Didn't come across that way. Man.
All right, John.
All right.
I'm sweating over. I'm like, do we have a lawsuit coming? Or?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me either. Shut my mouth.
No, this was my idea, and I had a really hard time coming up with it. I finished it up like 2 seconds before we started recording.
Me and my big mouth.
Yeah, I was like, God damn me. So I had like I don't know, I was asking other people for ideas and stuff. It was ridiculous. So I am a greeting card designer, and this grossly misrepresents my actual job.
I didn't know that's what you did.
Oh, really? I work for American Greetings, designing greeting cards.
Huh. Well, I knew you did. Like, I knew
For
you did.
now.
Like, well, yeah, I knew you did like something artistic like that, but I didn't know it was greeting cards.
By the time this airs, I won't work for anyone.
Yeah, me neither. Maybe it's possible. We got our own shit going on.
I'm gonna be fine because I drank the piss.
All right. The film is called Card Maker, based on a true story. After an international incident where an American missile was accidentally fired at a bustling Iranian city, killing hundreds of civilians, the two countries are on the brink of war. In an attempt to smooth things over, the CIA calls in the only man who can help, Slade Card Maker. Slade has 24 hours to put together a team of the most extreme artists and writers America's got for one task: to create a card containing the most sincere apology the world has ever seen in order to prevent a nuclear holocaust.
Oh,
Jesus.
Okay.
Wait.
As far as meeting the requirements of the challenge goes, you win, John.
Yeah. But your homework now is we got to see the card.
Oh God!
Show us the card that prevents a nuclear holocaust.
Just a puppy with real big eyes, and it says, "I'm sorry."
That's the payoff of the movie.
Yeah, something like that.
It's just a basset hound puppy.
I'm sorry.
I love that kind of crap. I work in the humor department. I make the funny cards. But we never get to work on sympathy cards because, the humor.
To me, that would be the best sympathy card.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking. I'm like, I have this card idea of like a chimp dressed up in like a nice suit. It says, "My deepest chimpathies." It's like my white whale to get this card produced.
Please make me that card.
Yes.
I'll gladly buy the card from you.
You have to make that, John. You have to make that now.
I'm telling you, I've been trying.
I'm crying over here.
Dude, I'll buy it right now. Like,
deepest chimpathy.
Oh my God. Whew.
I'm killing Chase.
Oh, man.
Christ. That is... Oh, my God.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that you win.
Without a doubt. My God.
Yes.
There's jumping.
Oh. That made me laugh harder than Reptile versus the Erectile.
Oh, my God. I'll never be able to go to a funeral with a straight face again.
I might just have to make the card myself and
Make the
like
card.
put it up available to like download or something.
Dude, I want it because I would give that card.
Oh yeah. I need a stack of like 300 of those bad boys. Holy shit!
Jesus Christ, deepest chimpathies.
Oh.
Now I'm not going to be able to, if I have to say that in the real world, like my deepest sympathies, I'll never be able to say it now.
And you might be losing your job?
Exactly. Who are these monsters?
Well, yeah. I don't even know if they don't care.
Have you pitched the chimpathies yet? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they don't care now until you give them that fucking card. Holy
Please
shit.
make that fucking card, John. I need it. I need it to hang on my refrigerator.
All right. I'm on it. I'll get it done one way or another.
My God.
Yes. Holy
The
shit.
sympathy.
Oh, okay. We got to collect ourselves here.
I can't. This is over.
Okay, so.
Ooh.
Oh man. All right, because we got to get to the serious part of the episode now, of the finale.
All right.
We got to take the exam. The whole season's been building to this. As you know, throughout the season, we've been asking each other 2 bonus questions per episode. And the current standing is myself in first with 5 points, Blake in second with 4 points, and John in third with 3 points. And these are going to be our starting scores going into the exam. The exam is a 10-question multiple-choice test on our knowledge of the entire season's movies. The questions have been written by a friend of the podcast, Aaron, so that there's no monkey business. No chimpathies would have to be given. So, I can't get off of it. So, in case of a tie, we've established a tie-breaking tier list. We did a little mini test off air. And in these scenarios, if John ties with anyone, including a 3-way tie, he wins. If I tie with Blake, I win. Blake, unfortunately, can't win any tie-breaking scenarios, so he's got to bring the pain on the exam.
Oh, yeah.
So, with all that cleared up, let's take the exam. Question number 1 from Time Barbarians. What is the station ID of Action 5 News. Question number 2. From Fungicide. Mushrooms grow from a combination of what?
I don't know if I was...
Question number 3. From Terror in Beverly Hills. How many phones were on the president's desk?
Oh, man. Jesus.
That's such a silly sentence.
I know.
Question number 4. From Buffalo Rider. How many buffalo did Frank Nesbitt boast he'd killed from a single stand?
These are hard.
My gut.
Question number 5. From the Glimmer Man. What color was the bread napkin Seagal used to wipe his greasy maw with in the restaurant scene?
Oh. These are really hard questions.
These are good questions.
No, they're good, without a doubt.
Question number 6. From Bloodbeat. What was the dog's name?
Oh, yeah. How can you forget that?
Question number 7. From China Salesman. What source code did Yan Jian release? Okay, I gotta read out loud the choices for this one. Is it A, who cares? B, this movie was terrible. 3, the actual worst. Or 3G.
Gee, I wonder which one.
Thanks for the free question, Aaron.
Yep. It would have sucked if you'd have picked that one and it would have just been, no, the movie was terrible. Was the right
yeah. Question number 8. From Born into Mafia. What brand of sunglasses was Jake wearing when he was driving Dimitri?
Oh,
shit. Oh, man.
Question number 9.
Oh,
From
what?
Dragon Ball. What is Puar's top speed?
I don't know this.
This was in the movie?
I don't know.
Oh.
Doesn't sound familiar. That's a slow-ass bird.
Is he carrying a coconut? Okay, and the final question, question number 10, from Atlantic Rim. What holding cell was Red put into?
Oh, shit.
Okay, nobody get your score yet. Just answer it, and then we're going to all do it.
All right.
Well, actually, I think we're going to have to refresh because if we hit it all at the same time, we're not going to see everybody. So go ahead and get your score, gentlemen. Woo!
Whoa!
I got 6 right.
I beat you, though.
Yeah, but by how much?
I beat you. I'm looking at
it. But now add the bonus points.
Oh, damn it.
Which makes it a tie between me and you.
And I can't win.
John's one behind. Dun, dun, dun! Oh, it feels good to be on top again. Final scores. Blake with 7 correct. Me with 6. John with 6. But with the tiebreaker scenario.
Well, John, I hope you picked out those shark movies like you were supposed to.
I did.
Shit. So close. God damn it.
Oh, Blake, those old familiar feelings. Me and you competing again, John moderating. And in no less but our next special month, Shark Month 2018.
Wow. That was a good test.
That was good. We will put the link to this test because it's up for anyone to take on all our social channels so that you all can test your knowledge too. We're not going to say what the correct answers were. Our scores will be on there so you can see if you can beat us or not.
Yeah.
But that's done. So now, before we did this, we agreed. We all came to a consensus on what the first movie of Shark Month 2018 should be, because we didn't know who was going to win, who would be competing or whatnot. So we all just came to agreement because we saw this was available on Amazon, and we just absolutely couldn't pass this up. So I'll go ahead and read out the coming attractions for the first episode of Shark Month 2018, Five-Headed Shark Attack.
Does it have a tagline?
Yes. You can't survive the 5.
Fuck you.
With 3.1 stars on IMDb, a questionable 4 stars on Amazon,
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no
and
way.
and a 23% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Nico DeLeon, who did this and only this. Starring Chris Bruno from All My Children and the Dead Zone TV series. Nikki Howard, who had a small role in the recent American crime story Assassination of Versace. And Lindsay Sawyer from such other rip-off movies as Sinister Squad and Tomb Invader.
Oh, so fucking nobody's in this movie.
Tomb Invader.
I want to watch Tomb Invader now.
I'm pretty sure that's a porno.
That's Womb Invader. Storyline. Shaped like a demented starfish, a monster 5-headed shark terrorizes an open ocean before invading the beaches of Puerto Rico, endangering the once peaceful island paradise. Runtime, 1 hour and 29 minutes. Plot keywords. Sequel, eaten alive, shark, ocean, police, and absurd.
Absurd. How is that a part of the plot?
Reviews.
Because it's a 5-headed shark.
Reviews. A lot of heads, not a lot of brains.
Nice. That guy's a professional.
Best Christmas horror show. Scared my pants.
I was fine, but my pants were scared shitless.
Yeah. And my favorite one, I'm going to read the whole review. The review is titled, One Very Scary Movie. This is one of the scariest movies I have seen. This movie has a great storyline. It also has great acting. It also has great special effects. 4.6 stars is a good rating. But this is such a great movie that 4.6 is underrating it. This is a 9. This is scarier than The Silences of the Lambs could ever be. This is scarier than The Shining. And that is not easy to do. This is scarier than A Nightmare on Elm Street. And that is not easy to do. If this does not scare you, no movie will. This is a very scary movie. If you like good horror stories, you will like this movie. It is very scary. See it. It is a great horror movie. See it. It is very scary. Who wrote this thing? Charlie Kelly? Scary me. Scary now. Scary me needing a lot now.
Oh, God.
I think an AI wrote it. The same AI that wrote that Olive Garden commercial wrote this.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't remind me of that. I almost died when I read that thing. Blake, have you seen the Olive Garden commercial written by the robot?
No.
Oh, my God. It's a meme that went around the other day, and this guy wrote a script for a bot, and he made it watch 1,000 hours of Olive Garden commercials and then made it write an Olive Garden commercial. And it's the best thing I've ever read in my life.
Wow. Will it make you want to eat Olive Garden?
Yes. If Olive Garden ran this as a commercial, I'd eat there every meal every day.
Wow. If the guy writing the review, if the guy writing this review had to eat at Olive Garden, he would say, Olive Garden, wait. I enjoyed my meal at Olive Garden, and that's not easy to do.
Oh, man. That's an amazing
Holy
review.
Shit. Yeah, that was.
That's an alien or a robot wrote that.
But
And I won't accept any other explanations.
yeah, whoever wrote it, we're watching 5-Headed Shark Attack to kick off our Shark Month,
Yep.
2018.
So they skipped 4-headed Shark Attack, right?
This movie is both 4-Headed Shark Attack and 5-Headed Shark Attack.
Oh my god.
Because it grows the 5th head through the course of the movie. So there you go. It starts off with 4 heads, and then the tail becomes a 5th head. So don't ask me how a shark swims without its tail.
How the fuck is it
It's just got a face. It's just got a face back there slashing around.
The back end shark are just going like this through the water and like just propelling everything.
That would be the best way, and I hope that's how it is.
Okay.
This shark swims without a tail, and that is not easy to do. Oh, man. Okay, so there we go.
Well,
put the final pin in season 3. It is done.
Yep.
And your rightful champ is back on top.
Disappointed in my performance here. But I'm kind of happy that I get to pick the movies.
Yeah.
To be honest.
That's the consolation prize.
Yeah.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself, Chief.
Got some good ones picked out.
Yeah. So as we move into Shark Month, John will be all-time moderator. He will be writing the questions. We go back to old school style, where he's going to write 5 questions per episode, and whoever gets the most at the end wins, between me and Blake. And whoever wins, we get our fabled weapon back. I can smell it.
What happens if I don't want a Sagaliber anymore? I want something else.
That's fine.
I guess you can change it.
I don't know.
Let's just start adding weapons to the pool.
Yeah. Why not?
So Blake's signature weapon since the beginning has been Excalibur, where he lets him watch any Steven Seagal movie, and I have the Sword of Van Damocles, which I'm very much wanting back.
John doesn't have a weapon because, let's face it, he's never going to fucking win.
Listen, I'm out here winning. I'm winning the hearts and minds.
Yeah, I told John that he needed to start thinking about what his weapon is, just in case he got in first or second tonight. I guess you got a little longer to think it out.
I got a whole other season now.
When
you get a whole nother 6 months.
When the Garbage Theater gods were handing out weapons, they handed me and Chase weapons and handed John a card that said, "My deepest sympathies."
Oh, that's sad.
Oh,
man.
Well, I'll try to tighten up my question game too, so we avoid all these fucking problems.
Write them down.
Yeah.
How many vehicles were there in the movie? Wait, what? And what kinds were they? Make and models.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. Season 3 finale special is done. We hope you enjoyed it, everybody. We'd like to thank you all for listening. As always, you can shoot us a review on iTunes. We would so very much appreciate that. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Garbage Theater. You can find us on Twitter at Garbage_Theater and at Instagram at Garbage_Theater. Check out the Instagram feed because you can see all this nonsense fan art that John did for Warriors of the Wasteland. It's all up there.
Which it is pretty impressive. Like, this isn't some kid drawing like Link and Zelda anime on loose leaf paper. Like, this is good shit.
Yeah. He's making movie posters for this stuff that these movies do not deserve.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah. From the beginning, from my start here, this is an idea that I had that I wanted to do, and I always thought it was funny how like so many bad movies, particularly from the 70s and 80s, had these really killer posters.
Right.
Particularly Rotor. I mean, Rotor has the coolest poster of all time in that movie.
Yeah.
It's absolute dog shit. So, yeah. I'll try to keep it up. Try to keep them posters coming for these garbage movies. It's good times.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for that. If you'd like to suggest us a movie, we're always open to suggestion. Get to us on one of those social channels or email us directly at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Our next movie will be Five-Headed Shark Attack to kick off Shark Month 2018. If you listen to our last Shark Month, it was a hell of a lot of fun, and we expect this one to be no different.
Right.
It's a little different as it's 4 episodes in a row, so it's 4 weeks in a row. We usually do every other week. You're getting 1 week for Shark Month because you're that special to us. So on that note, we will see you next time when we watch Five-Headed Shark Attack. See you then, folks.